Howdy, and welcome to Sunset Overdrive, a game about corporate greed, the apocalypse, and rock and roll. You begin in the character creator, where you chisel out your Greek god of a custom character, where your options are small woman, tall woman, twink, grug. You have a pretty good range of options, which you can all change later. But why would you mess with perfection? The game drops you straight in as you're being chased back to your apartment by a horde of monsters. Unlike other games, Sunset Overdrive doesn't let you stand still. To stand still in this game would be like trying to take a bathroom break at your Amazon warehouse job. You'll be beaten to death. As you're making your escape, you loot a body and acquire your first weapon, the Glock and Balls. This lethal gonorrhea joke is a shotgun that allows you to set enemies on fire. You battle the monsters for a while, until a man lures them away, giving you a chance to make a break for your apartment. You hunker down safely in your apartment and focus on your next course of action. Now you may be asking, what the fuck was any of that? Well, the game begins at a promotional concert for a company called Fizco and their new product Overcharge. You begin the game as a wage slave, picking up the trash of the partying degenerates.
Enjoying the first people on the planet to drink Overcharge!
Things take a turn, however, when the degenerate partiers begin to mutate after drinking Overcharge. This is the beginning of the apocalypse and is referred to by the characters as Horror Night. Cutting back to your apartment, you've unfortunately run out of supplies, and you're being given an eviction notice. Before you can be mauled to death in your shithole apartment, you're saved by Walter. The monsters that have been hunting you thus far are called the OD. And you need to prove your worth to Walter by beating the shit out of them. After completing a few more tests for Walter, he takes you back to his base where you meet Floyd. Introductions are cut short though as you meet your next type of enemy, the Scabs. The Scabs are essentially just people who were trapped in the city that waited about a week before going full on Mad Max. Thankfully for you, they're straight up people and are not wearing any sort of armor, therefore a simple bullet will do the job quite nicely. Now back to Floyd, whose job it is to make you amps. Amps are essentially power-ups that trigger as you hit certain levels on the style meter. Amps can do things like stun enemies, rain lightning from the sky, make your father love you.
Alright. But seriously, those motherfucking OD will tear you apart, be careful.
So now that we know what amps do and why they're important, how do we get them? Make amps by cooking Overcharge in these big-ass vats. Now, there's one problem with that. Cooking up Overcharge in these vats attracts a lot of the OD. So, we're gonna need you to defend the vats while they cook. These defense missions are a great chance to practice with your different weapons and amps, and also practice not getting the shit beaten out of you. Walter calls you over to help him work on a helicopter he's building. This helicopter will allow you to escape Sunset City, and he just needs you to hold it up. A task that is so simple, even a literal child. Feeling bad for ruining the helicopter, you decide to help Walter build a new one. So while looking for parts to fix your massive fuck-up, you run into Sam, a user of Reddit.com. Sam doesn't know where to find a propeller, but he does know people who could make one. This is when you're introduced to the Preps, a bunch of rich college kids who aren't going to help you until you run some errands. These quests range from helping a robot dog to explaining to someone their parents have abandoned them. After doing this, they don't actually bother helping you, so you just resort to violence, which tends to work.
Sam forgot one thing. If you don't help him, I'll throw your ass out on the street to fend for yourself.
I'm on board with this.
Hey, let's get to work.
Cool speech. I'm
The
ready.
Preps throw together a 3D printer so you can make Walter that new propeller. You get the glider ready to go, but right before you can take off, you're interrupted by Fizco. After Overcharge caused Horror Night, Fizco cordoned off the city and is the reason that you need the copter to escape in the first place. Fizco as a company is like Amazon, but about 3% more evil. They didn't mean to cause this mess, but they'll be damned if there's any survivors to rat them out. But you've got Walter on your team, and with him, you're practically invincible. With Walter's passing, you're going to need to find a new father figure. More importantly, a new way out. Before his unfortunate passing, Walter mentioned a man named Troopmaster Brillcream, who you'll find in the Japanese museum. Except you won't, because he's gone missing. Instead, you'll find his troop of adult scouts. They're led by Troopmaster Norton, who is definitely not evil and not hiding something.
Troopmaster Brillcream is missing.
Well, maybe I can help you find him.
Maybe you'll be lucky if I let you live.
Kind of a dick, huh?
Treason! Arrest Kim and banish her from the troop!
Chill out, Mussolini.
I am the troop master, and this is my troop!
What a nice and benevolent leader he is. To try to find Troopmaster Brillcream using radio, he sends you to go repair the local tower. You make your way up the tower with everything going exactly as planned.
Hey, it's me, Fizzy. Trespassing and destruction of property is a serious crime. Get ready to die, asshole!
When I said they were evil like Amazon, they've even got the fucking blimp. I love this boss fight because when you really think about it, it's the equivalent of breaking rules at Chuck E. Cheese and needing to fight the rat afterwards. It's a pretty simple fight, but a pretty fun one too. Basically, you just bounce on the platforms till it sends out a shockwave, and then you can damage Fizzy. This blimp has called me a prick like 17 different ways. After slaying the false god of Fizco, you meet up with the woman who is banned from the troop. Her name is Kim, and she helps you track down Brillcream. But not before getting kidnapped on a train, prompting a pretty fun chase scene. You finally manage to track down Troopmaster Brillcream to this garbage truck that he's been in. He is such a Chad, he's been in there to the point where he's had to eat his own arms and legs for sustenance, but has not left because he's waiting for his troop to save him, as a learning experience. He refuses your help, but changes his tune pretty quick after the truck's lit on fire. You return to the troop to confront Norton, this time with Brillcream at your side. Surprising absolutely no one, it turns out Norton was the one who threw Brillcream into the garbage truck in the first place, so that he may usurp the throne of the troop leader. Sensing that the jig is up, he commits Sudoku via a can of Overcharge, and turns into a fucking dragon. Norton's fight is a simple chase scene where the objective is to slide along his back and stab him in the brain. After the third stab, he finally goes down and you save Brillcream. Again. As a reward for saving the troop, you're given your ticket home. The schematics for a boat and a man who knows how to build them. The shipbuilder is a man named Ignatius, who runs a tribe of larpers. The larpers, due to the trauma of the apocalypse, are forever stuck in their persona, and when confronted by an outsider, revert to basic tribalism and violence. The aggravated assault comes to an end when you pledge your fealty to King Ignatius, who's fallen very ill. You meet with the only one in the group who's not stuck in a persona, Wendy. Wendy's no. He informs you that without food or medicine, the king is gonna fucking die. Problem is, scabs have already stolen all the food from the kingdom, so you have to go get more. The larper's solution to this problem is to go down to the local park and take bark off the trees to shove into the mouth of the dying king. Now, despite being a very fun mission, it doesn't work. No shit. It's up to you to find some real food, and you know just what to do. A New York delicacy of sorts. 500 roasted pigeons. This is definitely one of the weirder missions of the games, but it's very fun. And it actually helps out Ignatius.
King Ignatius, eat, so you may be reborn.
Now that the king's fed, he's still missing one thing. Drugs. Stolen drugs, at that. Now that you have the drugs, there's only one way to administer it. Slam the drugs like a bottle of water, then put leeches on your skin to absorb it into them. This causes you to go on a drug-fueled nightmare for a little bit, before returning to the castle. The king is healed and will grant you your boat after one final mission. Your final quest will be to retake the main castle from the scabs. To accomplish this, you must find the man who gave the king's sister crabs, and retrieve a Triceratops head. This Triceratops head will be part of the battering ram that you're going to use to breach the castle. Upon breaching the castle, the king falls.
Be there a cleric on the field? Anyone have a healing potion?
Alack, 'tis too late. My blood, my blood.
My blood.
Give me a fucking gun!
In order to capture the castle, you must first destroy the castle, and then defeat its current king. You do this by fixing the Triceratops head and fucking murdering him. And with that last quest done and finished, you get your ticket out of Sunset City. You've got your ship, and you've got your captain. The ship is designed to look like trash so that it can pass the Fizco sensors. This is your ticket home. You fight your way to the edge of the city with absolutely no complications whatsoever. Since the ship is designed to look like trash, it slips right past the Fizco sensors. However, the moment you leave the city, disaster strikes.
Help! Fizco is getting rid of the evidence! What evidence? Us! We're the evidence!
Fizco is launching an all-out attack on all remaining survivors on the city, and you have to do the right thing.
We have to go.
You're damn right we have to go. We're going right out to sea.
We have to go back.
Are you crazy?
My friends need me.
That'll be fine. We just went through hell to get out of there. Why would you want to go back?
Before this whole thing started, I just floated through life, never taking anything seriously. And Horror Night happened, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, but my life didn't start until the world came to an end. That's why we're going back.
What if I say no? Aye, aye, Captain! Hold fast! We're coming about!
After defending your friends from Fizco's assault, it's time to take the fight to them, to their headquarters in the city. To do this, you'll need to win the favor of one more faction, Las Catrinas. The problem with them is they're not really interested in helping you. You try many things to win their favor, like giving them a thermonuclear sword,
I will absorb the souls of 99 Fizco robots! 99 will die!
Instead of accepting this most generous gift, however, she straight up murders you.
Wow, she hits hard.
You do finally gain their favor by putting on a Make-A-Wish concert for a terminally ill child.
I never got to see a rock concert.
What? That's no way to live. Every kid needs to rock. You want a show? I'll give you a show.
Now, as fate would have it, that kid's not actually terminally ill. But it wouldn't be a Make-A-Wish story without a dead kid, so I'll just have to improvise.
I'll
Dead kids aside, after this act of kindness, Las Katrinas agrees to help you break into Fizco HQ. The stage is finally set for your assault on Fizco. The plan is Las Katrinas is going to sneak Sam into the building, while you and everyone else acts as a distraction in the courtyard. Sam will find and destroy their secret weapon and save the city from extermination, or as we in the business call it, public relations. You assault the courtyard in front of Fizco headquarters as every faction pulls their weight in the assault, including Brillcream, who pulls up with a fucking mech. As the battle rages on, Sam is unable to locate the super weapon inside the building. So you think of a new option, the nuclear option. Using a giant bottle of overcharge, you decide if you can't find and destroy the super weapon within the building, you'll simply destroy the building.
Giddy up, little doggy.
As you lay there, surrounded by friends, you decide that dying's for chumps, and you break the fourth wall to rewrite the ending.
Hey, everybody. Who wants to get drunk on milk and crackers? Alright, so be honest. That whole riding the bottle into the building thing, did it look as cool as it felt?
The celebrations will have to wait, however, because with that new ending comes a new final battle. The super weapon was never in the building, it was the building.
Wait, don't tell me. Giant city-destroying robot?
This finale is much more suited for the game, as it actually makes you use the movement and skills that you've learned throughout the game. Also, fun fact, if you use the acid sprinkler on it, the acid effect transfers into the cutscenes.
I'm gonna say this one last time. Fuck you! Okay, just one more. Fuck you!
Hey man, that's a boy. So you know that big ass robot that's like setting fire to the city and all that? Is that real? Cause I had a lot of nightmares about giant robots when I was in first grade, and I don't know if I'm like regressing. That's some shit, you know, stress-induced hallucinations maybe, but it's freaking me out, man.
It's real, Floyd, and if you stop talking, I'll...
It's real? Well then quit talking and kill the shit out of it, jeez. This ain't social hour, you know. We used to have social hour when I was in third grade. This is Tower. Yeah, we just sit around and we talk shit.
Hanging up now.
Thankfully, despite this final boss being a whole-ass building, some dingbat went and put a fucking power core at the top, so you just destroy that and you're good to go. I really love this game. It's got so much character to it, and it's just plain fun. I really want more people to play this game so it get more popular, because, and it, kind of ends on a cliffhanger. Insomniac Games, please make a sequel, please!